Hello guys, welcome to new episodes of Heroes of Lag, and this is usually where we start the episode for reviews, but this time we'll be doing an announcement. Everything from now on will be in English, starting from this episode to the next. And we want to thank all our subscribers because we finally reached 100,000. Yes! And thank you all for liking and sharing and subscribing. And now, onto the video. Okay, today we'll be reviewing Kunitsu-Gami Path of the Goddess. It's a Capcom tower defense game. I don't know how to explain this even further than that. It's basically what you take a tower defense game and you put all the systems that Capcom loves so much. What's it called? Usually combat and character build up. It's like a mix between an RPG and how do you say that? A character simulator? And not really a character simulator, like a... Well, you run around, what do you say? Controlling other characters, and after a while you get even more and more characters. So yeah, it's actually pretty fun. It's actually pretty fun. I like it. The story of Kunitsu-Gami starts off with the whole mountain. Japan has apparently more than one mountain being corrupted by some weird monsters, Japanese folklore. I don't know all the folklore. It's extensive. So after that, the whole world gets corrupted, and you have to take the the priestess to purify the whole mountain and make sure that the mountain is safe and purify from greed and corruption, because in the whole list, when you go to every area, it's about, oh, this area was corrupted by greed, the other one was corrupted by, some anger or lots of stuff. If you read, it's actually pretty detailed for every stage. So you start off with one area. So you choose an area in the map. It's usually really, at the beginning there's not a lot. And then what happens is that from the beginning of the stage you get what they're called crystals. The crystals, you carve a path for your priestess. So once the priestess reached the door, she opens the door and purifies the whole area. Now to reach that door, you need crystals. And the only way to get crystals is to collect crystals either on the side, and there are a lot of stuff that you can hit that will give you crystals. And at some point, it's nighttime. During nighttime, the monsters come to play. Now at the beginning, with the character's name is So. That's a short name. You start off controlling some people, and then the first job that you have is woodcutter. And then you start stopping the enemies from coming to the priestess and eventually killing her. I don't know if it's not really killing her, it's more like transforming her or corrupting her. After a while, once you finish this, once she opens the door, you get a stage and you get rewards. Now usually the rewards depends on the replayability. This game is built on replayability. What do I mean? That you can replay the stage, and once you play the stage, you have conditions, because Capcom loves their conditions to every stage. Once they do something, you have to finish this in less than a minute, you have to not use this character, you have to use more than one job in a specific mission. Now, I don't mind replayability for some games. This one in particular, it's fine. But my God, the conditions are so annoying. Some of them are just I don't know, don't use this many crystals in one, in the whole purification process. I'm like, oh my God, this is complicated. It really is, because at some point you're like, where do I start? What do I control? What do I do? It's complicated. Not really that complicated, but it gets really, 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 really extensive at some point, because you get first off you start leveling up your troops. You get woodcutter, and then at some point you get a priest, you get a spearman, you get all that. And you have to level them up by another, of course, what's it called? I don't know if it's crystal. There's another thing you have to collect. And those, you have to level them up. And once you level them up, you have to level also So, which is the main character. At some point, you have to level him up too, because he has a mask too. Because all of this is focused on you collecting masks from bosses and some areas in the game. Now, when I'm talking about masks, masks are important in the game because every character has a mask. It's one of the purification things. And it's the tribe is, all of them are wearing a mask. Everyone's wearing a mask. And for some reason in the sound department, like the music is fine. Music is really good. Like when you hear them talk, it's very low voiced. You're like, "Wakattazo," and then he's coming to you. And after a while, the game gets really complicated really fast. Like in the first part of the game, you get like, okay, they come from one area, and then they start coming from 2 areas. Then they start coming from 3 areas, and then there's flying enemies, which you need arrowmen for, and then you get spearmen, which you need for another type of enemy, and then you get a priest, which stops enemies, and then the bosses. Each boss has some kind of weakness, and whoo, that's a tall order there. That's complicated, because at some point these bosses, like you can basically like have like a whole like 4 minutes killing a boss, especially if you don't have the right troops. At some point they'll give you like the theme troop before you get to the boss. But my God, some of the bosses, I died like 3-4 times trying to figure out like, okay, what do I use? Because I'm not good at tower defense and I'm not good at micromanaging things. So if you really like micromanaging, this is the game for you. Micromanaging to a large extent, especially So, and then I don't know why they want you to buy, like, let's say you want your whole like troops in one place. You actually have to buy that skill. That's a skill you buy. I don't know why they didn't simplify that, but whatever. Capcom wanted to make it hard, and the gameplay is pretty solid, but they wanted to make that game hard. Like at some point it really gets hard. Now we can talk about the music briefly. It's very traditional Japanese music. And then one of them is one boss, for some reason, it came out of nowhere in my head. It was jazz. Like, straight up, they're like, oh, we're gonna put some jazz for this boss. I'm like, okay, fine. Wanna do some jazz? Do some jazz for that boss. And it's that boss that changes the game at some point. So I'm not gonna spoil it. And yeah, the music's actually pretty good for most of the game. It's calm, it's soothing, it's old folklore Japanese style music. Yeah, pretty good. I'm actually enjoying it. I enjoy the music pretty much. Usually I stay in the area. And then comes and one funny thing in this game is that when you go to upgrades, you go to see the priestess. Now, the priestess, for some reason, I don't know why, like I have a clip of it. I have a whole clip where you give her food. Like you get food from some building parts in the bases. Once you finish the stage, you get a base. And that base, you have to build some stuff to get some upgrades and other beads and all stuff. And then you get food. Like you give her the food and like you can actually look at her for like a whole, I think 2 minutes. She eats that food for 2 minutes. I have the whole video, like 2 minutes of her just eating that food I gave her. And I don't know what the point is. Somebody tell me, I don't know. Capcom has to tell me why I'm having to give her food, like special pastries and stuff. I don't know. We'll edit that stuff in and we'll just leave it for a minute and you guys decide if this is what you want to watch, like a priestess eating food. So in conclusion, I actually like the game, it's really fun, but I'm not a micromanaging guy, so some parts are probably more complicated than they need to be because I'm really bad at micromanaging and I'm really bad at telling myself, okay, who do I upgrade? Because at some point you get a lot of soldiers which you need to upgrade. Like some upgrades are good, some upgrades are bad, and of course the healer is the more important one, and then there's moves for Saw. Saw is a character all by himself. It's like he has moves, he has a bigger list than all the other characters. So he's more complicated than everyone else. And then the game is like, you know what, this is up the ante. They really make things complicated. And of course, if you want to upgrade even more, you have to go to each area before. Once you purified it, you have to build around it, and then once you build, you get like extra, what they call it, extensions for, like, you get more crystals, because there's a limit of crystals, there's a limit of how much you can get in crystals, how much you can get in some stuff. So it's extensive. And my God, I don't know why. I'm not a tower defense fan, but I actually like it. It's actually pretty fun. So thanks Capcom for this game. I wasn't expecting it to be good, because I'm usually the type of guy who just doesn't like I'm usually the RPG guy or the action RPG guy. This is actually fun. You run around with Saw and you tell yourself, okay, where do I put these characters? Okay, sometimes the game, I think the game crashed on me once on the PlayStation. I don't have the other versions, but it crashed on me for some reason. I don't know why. And yeah, other than that, it was only one crash. Not a lot of bugs, unless you count that your soldiers are just reacting weird to some stuff, and it gets really convoluted at some point. But other than that, it's a fun game, and I actually recommend it. It's one of those, you know, those out of left field Capcom games where they're like, you know what, we've got some money, let's just do a game that's not like everything we do usually. It's colorful, the music is great, except for that jazz part I didn't understand. Fun times. I recommend it. So if I had to put a score on this game, I would go for a 7, a solid 7. It's a good game. It's a great game. I don't know why people would say that 7 is bad, but no, it's a great game for anyone who has that, you know, that tower defense urge. I don't have that tower defense urge, but I do like using Saw, because Saw is like another character all by himself. So yeah, 7. Great game, and I want to thank Capcom for the review copy, and thanks for watching, and like, subscribe, and don't forget to put some comments below if you don't like the review or anything, so I can change some stuff for later videos. Thank you so much. Bye.